Welcome back to another Alliance War video. So this is another Tier 1 Masters Alliance War where we're actually coming up against an alliance called the Matrix. Very commonly around the edge of Masters or Platinum 1 I think, an alliance. Very strong. In terms of fights today, I've got Path 5 in Section 1 and then one fight on Path 7 in Section 2 and then a couple of other little fights in between. I've joined in the morning so I could utilise the 6-hour boosts a little bit because I got a couple from the compensation packages. So I was trying to use them as much as I could. And yeah, so I was doing a couple of duels here because this thing seems to be catching a couple of alliances out on this node. It seems to be a kind of Falcon counter, but not really. It just means you have to still watch out for the rock stacks and stuff. So here I'm just going to go in here with the White Magneto pre-fight on Black Widow Clairvoyant, and I'm just going to parry heavy, leave myself in the bleed phase, gain a lot of my charges, knock them down to bypass the node and get to the extra fury. Once I've charged up enough, so as you can see here, Black Widow Clairvoyant obviously with Thing being bleed immune gets a lot of power. I'm going to try and make sure I throw the special free when there's none of the protections up, just so it can do the most damage. So here, I'm just trying to throw the first one. And because of the bleed immunity on the thing and all the immunities from it being debuff immune, it gives me more of the Black Widow charges, which then means that my special free, as you can see there, it's like a truck. And he doesn't have enough rock stacks to be able to help the protection that normally triggers from Thing's ability. So here I'm just trying to get back to it again, taking my time, make sure I'm getting all my parries right, because when I did a few duels from the one in the Abyss, obviously I was just using the 5-star, and yeah, even though the attack damage on the Abyss thing was a lot less than this one, it seemed to be doing a lot more to me overall and did a lot more damage, so I boosted quite high thinking I was going to need to. And then obviously it turned out I basically didn't. So yeah, you can see here we're just about to finish up the fight now. And a couple more heavies and the thing gets low, so I just decided to go for it. And yeah, there you go, first fight of the war done, nice and easy. We're going up against this Kitty Pryde in a second. Originally we spoke about maybe putting the White Magneto pre-fight on this fight as well, but when I was speaking with the other officers in the battle group, I just said that it was completely unnecessary. She's not too bad with Quake, and as you can see here, I'm obviously going to speed up the Quake fights, and I'll give people an advance warning, there's a lot of Quake fights now. A lot of people, especially in our battle group, seem to have upgraded to like iPhone 13s or something like that, for example, and they seem to be having some input issues. Well, what we've been told is there seems to be some input issues with the iPhone 13 and Quake, and quite a lot of times she just kind of stands there. But as you can see here, I don't really ever mind fighting a Kitty Pryde. The main thing to watch out for is when she's phasing, she can't take any damage, so like she kind of dies in a weird point there from the aftershocks because she stopped phasing for one moment when she was on like 4%, so that part of the aftershock killed her. But not the main thing. So that's my path done. I'm now going to give the person who I'm sharing a path with on Section 2 a little bit of energy, just to try and get the ball moving a bit quicker, and we'll go. So I was waiting there for the Domino on Path 7 on the Spike node to get dropped. So thank you very much to my alliance mate that did that. And it now means that I get to use Quake on this Mr. Negative with the Kinetic Transference and Aspect of Evolution node. Again, Mr. Negative, the main thing you've got to watch out for is parrying them using light attacks and stuff and knocking them down, because then you get the Delirium debuff on you, but Quake bypasses that, and as long as you can kind of like Quake and Dex, you bypass the Kinetic Transference too. So we're gonna just get this fight done here. I hit him. I was hoping maybe to get a crit and end the fight a little bit quicker. Sadly, it doesn't ever seem to happen. I keep trying it just in case I can end the fight quicker than waiting for another whole aftershock charge set, but I don't. Here we decide to go with a white magneto pre-fight from somebody else on Mojo for me. So with that, I can just go straight into it now. You can see the pre-fight came up there. So again, I'm going to quake this. Done this fight a few times with the Indestructible Special 2 and all that weird node combination. The main thing about Mojo is just obviously the RNG and trying to hope that you don't get screwed with the power gain naturally, and from all the prompts being completed and stuff like that. The war video I put up recently, I can't remember if it was the last one or the one before, had a fight where Mojo was just gaining power from every prompt that they were doing just because they got that many in a row, and I couldn't really stop them getting any. So yeah, as you can see here, it's been just over a minute and then well down within Assassin's range. I normally try and drop a heavy here just to try and see if I can end the fight quicker, but decided not to this time. And yeah, so as you can see there, my alliance mate again moved up so we could get all the way to the mini boss island. I was a couple of minutes short from having another energy, and I think I had like 3 minutes left or something on my other boost, so I was like, oh well, I won't be able to make it. So I'll just move up there with them anyway, just because we've finished our section 2s and we're contributing well towards the war. In a second, I'll just have my final fight. So I have to do this man thing on Safeguard with Quake. Before, when they made it so there was true focus everywhere, this fight was a little bit more annoying. People were having to actually think of proper counters to man things, so you saw a lot of Red Hawks or Black Widow Clairvoyance. Now you can obviously Quake them again. It's just so easy to just go back to doing that. So yeah, I'm going to go into this fight here, obviously, as per normal. I'll speed it up. And yeah, so I only throw on a 10% boost just to not waste any 20%, because we're coming to the end of the season. I'm starting to, I guess, get a little bit low on them. I normally have things like that in overflow, and I just don't have them anymore, so that's how I know I've used quite a few. Although we're having a pretty bad season, we've still been boosting the same. It's just unfortunately other alliance friends and will use errors and bad fight combinations and stuff have kind of unfortunately let us down. Yeah, so after this fight here, which is on the man thing, I'm just going to be putting some pre-fights on to the other mini bosses, just to make sure that their fights go a little bit easier and smoother, and then an alliance mate will take the final boss. I haven't been given any bosses this season. I can't say I'm deeply upset about it, to be honest. I'm quite happy to not do them, to clear my path in the mini bosses and stuff if other people want the boss kills and sort of thing. Here, 1%. I don't know how many times I can say I hate this about this game, leaving people on 1%. But as you can see here, we actually win the war and we go 150-0 for the first time this season. So finally a good war. Well done to the Matrix, and good luck for the rest of your season.